The Reverend Sheree Thompson is the assistant minister and director of spiritual education at Understanding Principles for Better Living Church in Los Angeles, California. Reverend Thompson is a minister for the Universal Foundation for Better Living, a licensed teacher, and a secretary of the Universal Foundation for Better Living Board of Directors. She was directly mentored by our beloved sister and founder of her church, the Reverend Delarice, for over 20 years. She is the mother of a son, Amiri, who's 15 years old. She is a life coach and a communications specialist, and even instructs parents on how to parent spiritually. Let's give a warm CUT welcome to our sister, the Reverend Sheree Thompson.
That was awesome. I do a lot of things. Goodness. How are you today? Y'all look so good. It's my joy to be here. I'm so grateful to be here. I just want to let you know that you're part of my dream come true. It's so fun to be here in the Dream Series, and you're part of my dream come true. I'm so grateful to Reverend Derek Wells and Reverend Galen McDowell for inviting me to be with you. It was the best call ever. And just what a wonderful introduction. The Temple Ensemble, I see how y'all do it. I don't catch all of this online. I didn't know what y'all were going through in here, but you're so blessed. I hope you know that. I hope you appreciate and love up on them. I want to thank you because so many of my teachers are sitting here, and I just want to give a shout out to my JCI teachers. Oh my goodness, thank you for being patient with me. I had a lot of questions. I did. And I bring you love from Reverend Sheree James at Up Church. We're celebrating Reverend Della's birthday today at Up Church, and so it's a special day all around. If you're going to be at POT next month, you're going to get an amazing tribute. So they're doing a little bit of it to give a tease for the congregation there, but you're in store for such an amazing experience. I'm so excited. I can't wait to experience it with you. And so I just want to thank you again for having me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for making me feel so welcome. I've been in the Dream Series with you. Did you know that? I'm so grateful for technology, so I got to be with you and to walk through the Dream Series again. It's been I don't know, maybe my 6th or 7th time, maybe more than that over the years, going through the Dream Series. And so I just want to, if you're stepping in new, I just kind of want to give you Sheree's recap, okay? This might not sound exactly like what you heard, but I think it all works together. We're at step 6 today, but we began with desire. Desire is God tapping on the door of your heart with a work assignment. Does that sound familiar? And this work assignment is designed especially for you. It's important that you get that part, that the assignment is specifically for you. And you have to decide to accept it. That's our second step. You have to say, yes, God. Let me hear you say, yes, God. Yes, God. Asking, the third step is really claiming. It's claiming that this dream is mine. Say it's mine. It's mine. And then we have to love it. So there's, yes, God. It's mine, God, but now I have to love it so that I can activate the magnet. I want everything to come together for me, for my dream. And so I have to activate the love magnet. Let me hear you say, I love my dream. I love my dream. And Reverend Rod gave us faith last week, where we began to understand that the desire is molded and shaped in my soul. Sometimes when we don't see it with our eye, we forget that it's still active, that it's really real in the invisible. And so that step helps us to remember, because sometimes when you don't see your dream in expression, you can get distracted. And so we have a step in there to remind us to remember that it's already done in our soul. And so now we get to work. Now we get to work. I'm going to give you some shortcuts because I've been through these a few times. I know some of you have been here with me, but it took me a few times to get that this dream series was really working in your soul. So many times we get 12-step programs, 5-step programs, 10-step to go out and do something, but the work is happening in your soul. And so I didn't know until a few times through that you're always doing these steps. It's not a ladder where you leave asking and you move on to this next step. It doesn't work that way. Every day you got to wake up and desire afresh. Because you can forget it. Distractions come up. Anybody ever get distracted? And you'll be like, now what was I working on? So you have to work these steps over and over again. That this dream series is about a yes consciousness. That I'm really just trying to get my mind in the state of receptivity to let this come through. I'm getting my gunk out the way. And so if you have felt like, I missed some steps, I'm telling you, they put it all online. I know you can purchase it in the bookstore, but you have to listen to this over and over again because you're making new impressions in your soul that I can do this, that it is mine. I'm working with the yes. So we on the same page? Yes. Okay, good. So there are some steps in your bulletin, some points in your bulletin, and I'm going to tell you in advance that I'm not going to go in the order that they're printed there, okay? All right, so I don't want you to feel a little off like I forgot one. I'm going to work first with point number 2, which is that thinking is a form of work. The mind thinks in images and pictures. Your work is on creating a clear picture. Anybody ever have a Polaroid camera? So for those of you who don't know about a Polaroid, what would happen is that you would take the picture and then it would come out like a real piece of paper. It would come out and then you got to shake it, right? And you shake it and you shake it and then a picture comes out. It seems so weird now, right? But that's how you had to get that picture. And so whatever you took is what came out on that paper. And I'm here to tell you that if you are not focused, your image is going to come out blurry. It's going to come out kind of sort of like what you were looking at. And so we have to develop a clear mental picture. That's what the work is about. That's essentially everything I'm going to tell you today, is that you have to get clear. And I don't want you to be afraid to get clear so that when you are shaking this experience from the invisible into the visible, that it comes out looking like what you said yes to. The work is in your soul. It is just getting clear. And it all begins to work together because I told you that love is the magnet. I begin to love it. The clearer I get, I begin to love it. And then the attraction factors happen. Things began to work together and I realized I didn't have to make it happen. You are made. Here's the thing. You're made to do this. You're made to bring good things to life. You don't have to go learn how to bring good things to life. You're made to do it. You're designed to bring good into life. I want you to affirm with me, I bring good things to life. See, God is the only power and the only presence active in the universe. And God is absolute good. God is absolute good. Here's some good news. You're made just like God. And so you are good through and through. Ain't nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes you need to tell yourself, there ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm good through and through. I'm good through and through. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I mean, every day. Sheree, ain't nothing wrong with you. You out here self-helping and fixing. You got to fix your life. You're perfect. Are you hearing me? Your thinking, though, is what connects you to that absolute good. That's the power of your thinking. It's your connecting link to God. Is this sounding familiar to you? You take these God ideas and you mold and shape them into your unique, unrepeatable good. And then you bring them into expression. You bring them into the world of experience. Nobody can possibly bring what you have to bring. You are a unique an unrepeatable expression of God. The dream, the desire in your heart can only come through you and be unique and unrepeatable. You're bringing this unrepeatableness. That's the urgency of this dream series is serious. There's a desire that God wants to bring through you that can only come through you. I remember saying before that somebody had my idea. Oh, that was my idea. Nobody can ever take your idea. They can never duplicate the dream that's in your heart to bring forth. Because you are unique. You are unrepeatable, and so is your dream. Affirm with me, nobody can bring my good, except me. Get about it. Get on it. We've got to let go of these distractions that keep us from being, doing, and having what we're designed to be, do, and have. Get about your mission. And so we're here to work. And point number 1 on the bulletin says work is not labor. What does that mean? That's what I do when I get up and go to my 9 to 5. Those of you who retired, that's what you did. And with hallelujah, I don't have to do that no more. Work is not labor. If you've ever labored a child into being, you know that there's something that happens, and it's labor. And labor it can exhaust you. It can make you weary. Hallelujah, anybody? Working on your dream is life-giving. Working on your dream is exhilarating. So if you are exhausted by what you're doing with your dream, you're not working in the right place. You see, dream work it gives you energy. Dream work you get to be in conversation with God. You get to be tapped into the one power and one presence and get rejuvenated constantly. It's really cool. You get to watch the ways that God directs you. You get to do that. You don't have to get out here and make it happen. God will direct and guide you. It'll unfold before you, and you'll be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it's this simple. All I have to do is have the courage to move forward. You get to know, you get to know that your dream is a sure thing. This is what you do when you're working in your soul on your dream. Not out here trying to hustle and make it happen. I believe that the David and Goliath story really kind of, if you go into it a little bit, it helps to help you understand this inner dream work that has to happen to bring your good to life. Because we are here to bring our good into expression right now. We're here to take our dreams out the future. We're here to take our dreams out the future and experience and express them right now. Take your dream of perfect health out the future and experience it here right now. Take your dream of the perfect opportunity, the perfect way to express your gifts and talents out the future and bring it here right now. You have to know that it's a right now opportunity. And again, the urgency, because only you can bring it. And so David and Goliath, I want you to write this in your bulletin and read this because it's such a great story. Turn the TV off and the reality shows and just catch up on some David and Goliath. It's so good. 1 Samuel chapter 17. And I'm going to summarize it a little bit. I won't keep you here. They told me that Sandman comes. And so I don't want to get danced off the platform. But there are essentially these two warring nations, the Philistines and the Israelites. And the Philistines come for the showdown. Israelites come in defensive posture, like, uh-oh. And so they're up on these two hills. And instead of going and just having a melee, anybody ever watch Game of Thrones? Remember that episode? It was nasty and brutal. They didn't want to have that. So they sent Goliath down, their biggest, their baddest, their meanest. And essentially what he did is say, send yours. Whoever wins gets to win the whole thing. We conquer you, you conquer us, but it's all about these two that come to battle. Who you bringing? And so Goliath is down there looking intimidating, real big. They put some measurements in the scripture, but just know real big, real strong, real brute. And so the mighty Israelite army is like, no. I'm not volunteering. So who's going to volunteer? You know, maybe if I sit here long enough, you ever wait long enough to see if somebody else will be like, I'll do it? Nobody did it. And so for 40 days, he marched around and they were paralyzed, completely paralyzed. It's got to be embarrassing. Here I am all suited and armored up, and I'm too scared to do anything. I don't want to get defeated. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to get killed. This is going to cost everybody if I lose. And they're just paralyzed. And so David is an artist and a shepherd, and his dad sends him on a lunch errand, like Uber Eats. And he's taking lunch to his brother. He got one mission. Just go take lunch to your brothers. And he gets there with the lunch, and he notices what's going on, like, what is happening here? Everybody is paralyzed, and it's just like, but these are the soldiers. These are the people protecting me. And they are quaking in their boots. He is shocked. He says to them, who is this uncircumcised Philistine that you guys who have God on your side are scared and petrified? Like, who are you? It goes, thinking about consciousness, right? Because we're talking about two states of consciousness. I'm going to work with the David consciousness. I'm going to work with the Goliath consciousness. You know that everybody in the Bible, all the characters in the Bible, all the people in the Bible represent your states and stages of consciousness. So sometimes when we hear the David and Goliath story, we think that I'm going to be the David in there because I heard David win at the end. But you Goliath too. You Goliath too. And the consciousness is the mindset. So there's a mindset that you have that's David, a mindset that you have that is Goliath. And so the David mindset, I want to give you this before they go to battle so you know what's really happening in your soul. The David mindset is powered from within. It's power from within, confident in the power of God within. David is your yes, God. This dream is mine mindset. David is I am bold, I am firm, I am courageous. You ever heard that before? That's the mindset of David. Now, Goliath is powered by appearances. So what he sees, right? So because nobody stepped up to him, he got probably a little bit more bold in this thing. I really am big and bad. You ever feel better because people tell you good things? That's a David consciousness. I get my power, I get my joy, I get my value based on what other people think of me. Because if the Israelites had somebody bigger and badder, stronger and taller, he wouldn't have been so bold out there because the appearance would have changed. But David, the artist, the sheep herder, little bitty David, recognized that his power was not in what appears physically, that there is a power within him. Goliath represents your fear, your hesitation, your excuses, your I can't mindset. Anybody got excuses? Why you can't? See, I was working on my dream, but what had happened was, I'm going to catch step 6 and 7 because what had happened was things got busy at work. I had to go take care of something. Are you hearing me? Are you feeling me? David is Goliath is your they won't let me mindset. Goliath is your I'm not worthy mindset. This is too big for me mindset. And so we have these two opposing points of view that essentially go to battle. And we get some tools on how to deal with this in the story. So David, in his shock about how they're responding to Goliath, says, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? I think that's a cuss word. I think that's a cuss word. I think he said something that if we were then, they'd be like, you're not supposed to say that. Who is this that he should defy the armies of the living God? You see, the David mindset is bold. And you have to declare to yourself in the face of fear, whose side are you on? Who's got your back? When somebody tells you no, who is the source of your supply? Uncircumcised Philistine. If you don't tell it to yourself, over. If you don't tell it to yourself, then you're going to need Galen walking around saying, you're great, you're awesome, you can do this. And Galen got stuff to do. So David volunteers. And King Saul looks at him, this little artist shepherd. And he tries to discourage him, like, oh, that's nice. But no, no, that's not you. And then David builds a case for himself. He's like, don't sleep on this sheep herding. I'm out here killing lions and bears for these sheep. Like, really, I'm out here killing lions and bears. I'm not intimidated by Goliath. And so Saul's like, all right, this is his only volunteer. What are you going to do? All right, let me give you some armor. Let me give you some armor to move through this. All right, so he puts the armor on, and he says that I can't walk in this. I'm not used to it. And I love this part of the story because sometimes we think that our dreams are going to come through us, and then we're not going to know how to do it. We won't know that next step to take. But you are already equipped to take the next step. You see, your interests, your skills, your talents that you've already proven will be necessary for your dream to come through, this new dream to come through you. You see, I was blown away when I realized that God would not give me things that a rocket scientist needed to do. So I was close to dreaming because I was like, well, what if I'm supposed to be the one that gets us to Mars? I don't want that dream, God. Tapping on, you're going to have to knock on somebody else's door. But God is going to work with your interests and your skills and your talents. So you can have some confidence in that because you've done something already. Anybody ever here done something? You got something that you've done, that you've accomplished, that you've produced, that you've mastered. At least one thing. And it's not for you to dwell on it. It's not for you to keep reliving it. It's for you to know it's in your tool belt. That you know it's in I got this skill. I've already demonstrated this to myself. So I can apply it here to my dream. Reverend Carey taught me that a teacher takes a student from the known to the unknown. And so that's the same way that your gifts and talents work, that your dream is going to develop you from what you know already. And you will stretch, and the Holy Spirit will reveal to you the next step. So your unknown is taken care of too. Because you guys know God's supporting you in this, right? It wasn't like, here, go, let me see what happened. I'm curious to see how she works this out. Like, that's not how God works. God is guiding you through it. Okay. So David gets this, I'm not doing the armor thing. But what he came with a slingshot and a staff. And he saw some rocks and picked up those rocks and said, I'm going to use this stuff, right? And I thought to myself when I read this part of the story, why did he bring weapons on his Uber Eats journey? Like, why did he do that? Why would you say, I'm going to take this lunch? And it probably was something heavy. You got big brothers. They're the warriors. They're big and probably real hungry. In addition to that, he says, I'm going to take something else. I have a very heavy purse. And when it's time to go, anybody who was in the office with me saw it. It's always like that. I'm not ashamed. He decided to take the sling and the staff with him. Like, that's so bizarre to me. But that's kind of how God works. Sometimes you get a little, Reverend Della would say, something out the blue. Something out the blue would just say, I should grab this. Anybody, ladies out here wearing heels, anybody ever have that? You should take these flats. Right? And you're like, but these flats don't match. You should take these flats. And at some point, you say, woo, I'm so glad I bought these flats. What happens here is that you are always equipped for your next step. I want you to have some confidence in your dream and your ability to bring it through. That the work that you're doing is in your soul and that you are sufficient, you are equipped, you are whole. The wholeness means that you have everything that you require and desire already wrapped up in you. And we've been afraid to let it out because we got burned before. I don't know about you, but some things didn't work out for me before. And I think about that sometimes, especially when a new thing is coming up. I'm like, shoot. That was embarrassing. I told people that I was going to make this happen, and it didn't work out. And that can be a burden on your shoulder. Anybody ever have a healing in their body and then get sick again? It's embarrassing. It's like, oh man, my consciousness. Who rules your mind? You see, David and Goliath, I said, are both in you. Who's in control? When the appearance is right before you, stomping and making up a noise, terrorizing you, do you get paralyzed? Do you stop? Do you pay more attention to that? Do you let the fear tell you what to do? Or do you tell yourself the truth about yourself? You see, these two factions meet in the valley. Anybody ever have a valley experience? The valley is a powerful place because it's where you get a chance to show the God you know. It's where you get a chance to show the truth that you said, yes, like this is what I know. I'm here to show it. I said that I'm good through and through. Now can I act like it? I said that this dream is going to come through me. I love my dream. I said yes to my dream. Now will I let it? Will I listen? Am I confident enough in the power and presence of God in me to actually listen and obey? Do I trust God? And so at the moment of this battle, because David now has a slingshot, he's gone, he's going, advancing towards Goliath. And this is what Goliath does. He looks at him like offended. How dare this little boy come up here? Like, it's like a slap in the face to my, here he come. I will rip you apart. That's what our appearances do sometimes. I'll rip you apart. It's like, okay, but this is what you have to say. He says, this is in 1 Samuel 17, verses 45 and 47. You come to me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This very day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike down and cut off your head, so that all the earth may know that there is God in Israel, and that all this assembly may know that the Lord does not save by sword and spear. For the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hand. When you get face to face, toe to toe with the resistance in you, you got to know what to say to it. It is, wait a minute, this battle is not mine. You may have come with these things, appearances. You may be in front of me. Checkbook, you might be in the red. But here's the thing, I don't pay attention. You may come with your overdue balances. You may come with your colorful bills, amen? But you don't tell me about my prosperity. You don't tell me what I'm worth. You don't tell me what I'm capable of. You don't tell me what's available to me in spirit. See, we forget sometimes to tell the truth to ourselves about ourselves in the midst of our challenge. The battle is not yours, it is the Lord. The battle is you trying to make it happen. See, God is already, didn't I say it was done already? The victory was yours already? It's done. The battle is you not going there trying to make it happen. Not becoming afraid that the power of God in you can accomplish what you said yes to. This is an agreement you made with God. You're all in partnership. You got to trust your partner to do its part. You're supposed to hold the vision in mind, to be obedient, to listen to the guidance from your partner who knows how to do this already, who is the love magnet that's bringing it all together for you. Are you hearing me? God makes the way. You do not have to make it happen. Point number 4 is God will reveal to you the work needed in your life to bring forth your dream. I love to write to-do lists. I have apps for it and everything. And sometimes I'm just writing things on that list. I don't do those things. But that's one of the habits I have. I like to record it, but I have to remind myself that God gives me the steps. What would you have me do? What's the next step? Because maybe the step I know gets me to the place I've already been. And there's a new thing a new place I need to go, a new path I need to go down. And so I need to be available for the new thing, for the new direction. Anybody ever use their GPS? And it takes you on a route that you're not familiar with? You ever not take that route and get caught in traffic? And that's what happens, is that we don't listen to God's direction and we get hung up. And then we get distracted and then we forget the assignment. All right, I'm not going to beat up on y'all. Tell people about this because it's not about you. Y'all are on it. Y'all are on it. Direct people to this because you know some distracted people in your life. There's a song from Mahalia Jackson. I think about her when I think about Reverend Della. And I don't know how I even know this song, but it goes, Lord, you don't have to move my mountain, but give me the strength to climb. And Lord, don't take away my stumbling blocks, but lead me all around. Have you heard that before? You don't have to do this. God will make a way. You don't have to be out here talking to these mountains. They are nothing. They are nothing in comparison to the power and presence of God that is you. Tell yourself the truth about yourself. To yourself. Point number 3 says the way to put your dream to work is to put yourself in alignment with your dream. Always work for your dream and not against it. That what this process what the dream series does is it helps us get clear and stay interested in our dream. And you all know what's happening when we get clarity and interest. That we're developing the mental equivalent. Remember the Polaroid camera? We're getting a clear picture so that it can shake out into our experience. That's the work that you're doing. And when you put your dream to work, you're putting yourself in alignment with the picture that you saw. So as you're shaking it out, you're working it together. I'm listening, I'm being directed because I will get what I see. You always get what you see, even when your dreams don't come into expression. You don't go back and start messing with what expressed. Go back to what you need to see. I need to see this more clearly. Anybody ever been in a love relationship that I'll move on. So David charges at Goliath. And he takes the sling and he slings that rock and it hits Goliath in the middle of the forehead. And then he cuts his head off. He knocks him out and then he cuts his head off. You kill your fear by telling yourself the truth about God. God is my source. God is my strength. That's the rock that you're sitting in the middle of your fear, in the middle of your hesitation, in the middle of your excuses. You kill fear by telling yourself the truth about yourself. I'm whole. I'm powerful. I'm made in the image likeness of God. I'm capable. I'm able. I'm strong. I'm good looking. I'm fit. Tell yourself the truth about yourself. Don't keep reporting these appearances. That's not your job. You kill fear by telling yourself the truth about your dream. That is mine. I love it. Play in your dream all the time. Be interested in it. When I was working on a love experience, what I would do was every exchange between me and somebody else, I would notice what was happening. And I was telling the first lady here about my love of crab. But I have not quite, my body don't agree with crab. Right? So I have to take a Benadryl if I want to eat some crab, right? And so I'm working on this to tell myself me and crab are one. But I am, a doctor tells me, a doctor who loves me says, are you kidding me? And then it starts sending me articles about how allergic things happen, and I'm like, okay, so he's concerned. And I want to take this seriously, but let me tell you what this exchange taught me, is that my lover protects me. Now, some people get off-put when you get information and it's like somebody is concerned about you, but I moved past that to a recognition of the love I was calling forth in my life, that my lover protects me. I can work with that. I'm looking for love in every exchange. You look for your dream in every exchange. It's all working together. So if it's working together, pay attention to what's happening. Pay attention to what's showing up because God works through people. Did you know that? You guys said, I'm one with God, I'm one with all people. People will help you because they're God. Okay. I'm going to get out of here. Your work is soul work. I want you to get, this doesn't mean that you don't take any action. It means that the primary action is happening in your soul. It means that what you're doing, your work is to listen to God, to be obedient to what you're told. And sometimes that's going to take you out your comfort zone. And I would say that if you're doing this dream thing right, you should always be out your comfort zone. Because if we're comfortable with it, that means you've done it already. And we're not here to recycle. We're not here to recycle. We're here to bring through a new thing. We're here to bring through a new thing. So you get clearer and clearer on what you desire every day. Be on the lookout for it all the time. Listen to God for the next steps. Spend time in prayer. You got to know what God sounds like in you. You got to know what God feels like in you. Just like you get to know a person and I got to talk to you, I got to have an exchange with you, you got to go and spend some time with God. Because the partner is useless to you if you can't perceive it in you. That's a whole other sermon, but it's a good one. It's a good one. Put what you have to use like David. He knew how to slay the lions and the bears. And he used what he knew to deal with the fear of Goliath in his life. Use what you have and let go of every thought that separates you from your dream. Let go of the thinking it is, if it's separating you from your dream, you know it's not the truth. If it's making your dream seem hard and difficult, you know you're not thinking on the right things. And you're in control of your thinking. Amen, somebody? Amen. You're in control of your thinking. You're in control of your thinking. Nobody can make you think a certain way. Nobody can make you feel a certain way. You're in control of your thinking. Control your thinking. Think on what is good about your dream. Think on what is lovely about your dream. Think about the experience, the gift that's going to come through you to bless somebody else. People need to see your dreams come into expression. It's encouraging. It's inspiring. It reminds and gives them the energy they need to break through and kill the Goliaths in their way. It's not just about you. That's what I love about this series. When you do you, you change the world. You change the world. And so dreamers, I want you to look Goliath in the face. Affirm with me. If you're dreaming, this is me and God's dream. Okay, I want you to say it like you mean it. All right. I was handpicked to bring my dream to life. My dream is made for me. I am bold. I am firm. I am courageous. I let it be. I let it be. I let it be. And so it is. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.